Taurus, that look she gives you when no one else is paying attention. The slightly altered tone of voice when someone compliments you in front of her. The comments disguised as concern that are actually stabs in the back wrapped in gift paper. You felt all of that but tried to ignore it because she's family, because you were taught that family forgives, family accepts, family stays together no matter what. But what about when the toxicity comes from within your own home? What about when the person who should support you is exactly the one who secretly hopes for your failure? The universe saw it all. Every venomous comment disguised as a joke. Every time she downplayed your accomplishments. Every moment she planted seeds of doubt about you in other family members. Every heavy energy she directed your way, laden with resentment and comparison. The universe recorded it all. And now it's taking steps to remove this toxic presence from your life. Not because you asked for revenge, but because you've finally reached a level of evolution where this energy simply can no longer coexist with who you are becoming. What I'm about to reveal is a process that has already begun, that is already in motion, and that will be completed in the coming days in such a clear way that even the people around you will notice. The woman who envies you in the family is being removed from your reality, and you will understand exactly why this is happening now, how it will manifest, and above all, what this means for the next chapter of your life. Are you prepared to discover that the peace you have sought has always been just one removal away? You thought maybe you were too sensitive, that you were misinterpreting situations, that you should be more understanding. After all, family is family, right? You swallowed hurtful comments. You smiled when she publicly belittled you. You continued to include her in your life even though you felt her energy draining your vitality every time you were in the same room. Because you are a Taurus, loyal, persistent, someone who values bonds and traditions, someone who doesn't give up on people easily. But here's a truth no one has told you. Loyalty doesn't mean accepting emotional abuse. Valuing family doesn't mean allowing someone to destroy your peace in the name of blood ties. Persistence doesn't mean continuing to allow someone to drain your light just because you share last names or DNA. And the universe knows this. That's why it's intervening directly in the situation, not to avenge you, but to protect and uplift you. The envy she feels for you isn't your fault. You did nothing wrong by shining, achieving, being loved, succeeding, and being happy. Your light doesn't need to be dimmed for her to feel comfortable. Your talents don't need to be hidden to protect her fragile ego. Your achievements don't need to be minimized so she doesn't feel inferior. The problem was never that you were too much. The problem was always her refusal to work on herself and her preference to blame you for her own dissatisfaction with the life she chose. And now, the time for separation has come. Not because you consciously chose this, but because your vibrational frequency is rising to a level where energies based on envy, comparison, and resentment simply can no longer sustain themselves near you. It's as if you were a plant growing towards the sun, and it were a shadow trying to pull you back into the darkness. Eventually, the light always wins, and you are entering your phase of complete light. For Taurus individuals born between April 20th and April 30th, this woman is likely someone from the previous generation, mother, aunt, mother-in-law, who never managed to process her own frustrations and projects them onto you. For those born between May 1st and May 10th, it's more likely to be someone from your own generation, cousin, sister-in-law, sister, who constantly compares you to herself and always loses in this unhealthy mental comparison. And for those born between May 11th and May 20th, it could even be someone younger in the family who has developed a toxic obsession with your life and your choices. But regardless of who it is specifically, the pattern is the same. They constantly observe you, measure their own life against yours, get annoyed when good things happen to you, and secretly celebrate when you face challenges. This type of energy is like poison being slowly added to your water. It may not kill you immediately, but it will make you sick, tired, and heavy. and the universe has decided that you've drunk this contaminated water for long enough. Can you feel the relief of knowing that this toxic energy is being permanently removed from your life? The withdrawal that is happening can manifest in various ways, and it's important that you recognize the signs when they begin to appear. It could be that she physically distances herself, a move to another city, a family breakup that naturally creates distance. It could be that she reveals her true face so obviously that even people who previously didn't see it will finally realize who she really is. It could be that situations arrange themselves so that you simply stop crossing paths at family events. Or it could be such a profound internal transformation within you that her presence simply ceases to affect you, as if she has become invisible to your perception. What is certain is that this energetic separation has already begun. You may have already noticed that her presence bothers you more than before, that you feel less inclined to include her in your life, that comments you used to swallow now genuinely irritate you. This isn't you becoming intolerant or insensitive. It's you finally developing the emotional immune system you should have always had. It's your soul saying, "I don't accept this anymore. I deserve better." And you truly deserve it. You deserve family relationships that celebrate you instead of diminishing you. You deserve people around you who are genuinely happy with your victories. You deserve an environment where you can be completely yourself without fear of being judged, criticized, or envied. And the universe is rearranging your reality to ensure you have exactly that. The envy she feels is fueled by a truth she will never admit aloud. You have something she always wanted but never managed to build. It could be emotional stability. It could be a healthy romantic relationship. It could be professional or financial success. It could simply be the ability to be happy and at peace with herself. And instead of using you as inspiration to improve her own life, she chose to use you as the target of her frustration. This says much more about her than about you. Self-assured people celebrate the success of others. People at peace with themselves don't need to belittle others to feel great. People who genuinely work on their own growth don't have the time or energy to obsess over other people's lives. Her envy is a silent confession that she knows she could have made better choices, but instead chose the easy path of bitterness and resentment. And you don't have to carry the weight of her choice. You don't have to diminish yourself to accommodate her insecurity. You don't have to hide your blessings to protect her feelings. Your role in this life is not to make envious people feel comfortable. Your role is to shine fully and inspire those who have the courage to do the same. Those who prefer darkness will naturally move away from your light, and you need to let them move away. What impresses me most about this removal process is the precision with which it's happening. It's not an abrupt and violent cut that will traumatize you. It's a gradual and natural separation, like when a dead leaf finally detaches itself from the tree. It seems inevitable when it happens, because in truth it always was. That connection had been dead for a long time. You just kept maintaining the illusion that a healthy bond still existed there. You'll start to notice how this separation is unfolding. Pay attention to how you feel when you think about her. If before there was guilt and worry, now there's simply indifference or even relief. Notice how situations are arranged so that you no longer need to interact as much as before. Observe how other people in the family begin to notice patterns of her behavior that you always saw but ignored. And above all, feel the lighter energy that will begin to circulate in your life. It's as if someone has opened the windows of a room that's been closed for years. Fresh air can finally enter. Light can finally illuminate the dark corners. You can finally breathe without feeling that invisible weight in your chest that always appeared when she was around. Taurus, you've spent years trying to understand why someone in your own family would treat you this way. You looked for flaws in yourself, tried to be better, more understanding, more tolerant, but the truth is, there was nothing about you that needed fixing. The problem was always with her and her inability to process her own emotions in a healthy way. And it's not your responsibility to heal anyone's emotional wounds, especially when that person uses those wounds as justification to hurt you. The universe is removing you from this toxic dynamic because you have a much greater purpose than being an emotional punching bag for someone who refuses to grow. You are destined to create, build, inspire, uplift. And you can't do that carrying the weight of her negativity on your shoulders. It's time to let go. It's time to allow her to deal with her own issues while you move towards what truly matters. Removing her from your life will open up space for much more meaningful and nourishing connections. You'll be surprised how many doors open when you stop wasting energy trying to maintain relationships that are already dead. You'll discover you have much more peace, creativity, and vitality when you're not constantly on the defensive against attacks disguised as family concern. And here's something that might surprise you. When she finally leaves your life or your perception, you won't feel the deep pain you imagined you would. You'll mostly feel relief, like when you finally put down a heavy suitcase you've been carrying for miles. Your shoulders relax, your breathing deepens, your whole body sighs in gratitude. For some people, the removal will be physical and obvious. For others, it will be such a profound shift in perspective that even if it remains physically present, it will no longer have any emotional power over you. Either way, the result is the same: liberation. And this liberation will trigger a cascading series of positive changes in your life that you can't even fully imagine yet. When you are no longer expending emotional and mental energy on this toxic dynamic, you will have internal resources available to invest in areas of your life that truly matter. Projects you've been putting off will finally gain momentum. Healthy relationships will deepen. Opportunities will arise because you are finally vibrating at a frequency of peace instead of constant conflict. Her envy was like an energy cord connecting you to an outlet that drained your energy instead of recharging it. The universe is cutting that cord once and for all, and when it's completely cut, you'll wonder why you allowed yourself to live connected to that draining source for so long. But don't judge yourself for it. You did the best you could with the understanding you had at the time. Now you know better, and when we know better, we do better. Taurus, in the coming days, while this separation is being finalized, be kind to yourself. Don't force yourself to feel things you're not feeling. If you don't feel sadness about the separation, that's fine. If you feel mostly relief, that's perfectly okay. If you feel anger for having tolerated it for so long, allow yourself to feel that anger and then let it go. All your emotions are valid. And don't let other family members make you feel guilty about the separation. They haven't lived through what you've lived through. They haven't felt the heavy energy you felt every time she was around. They weren't the target of the venomous comments disguised as concern. They have no right to judge your need to distance yourself from something that was hurting you. Your mental and emotional peace is not for sale, not even for family approval. What is happening is divine justice in action, not the justice that comes from courts or external punishments, but the natural justice that occurs when the universe rearranges situations so that each person receives exactly the energy they emit. She emitted envy, resentment, and negativity, and now she will experience the isolation that naturally comes when you push away people with that kind of energy. You emitted patience, genuine attempts at connection, and goodwill. And now you will experience the peace and opportunities that come when you finally free yourself from toxic dynamics. The removal is neither punishment for her nor reward for you. It's simply the universe restoring natural balance, placing each person on the frequency that corresponds to the choices they've made. And your choice is to try to be better, to work on yourself, to not retaliate even when you had every reason to. Those choices have raised you to a frequency where her presence simply no longer fits. During this process, you may experience waves of guilt or self-doubt. Am I being unfair? Should I give her another chance? Is the problem with me? When these thoughts arise, remember everything you felt each time she was present. Remember the comments, remember the energy. Remember how your body reacted in her presence. Tension in your stomach, tightness in your chest, weight on your shoulders. Your body never lies, and it was telling you all along that that connection was toxic. The truth is, you've already given her countless chances. You've tried to understand, you've tried to connect, you've tried to please her, and nothing you did was enough because the problem was never you. It was her and her choice to feed her envy instead of working on herself. At some point, you need to stop putting yourself in situations where you're constantly being hurt and start prioritizing your own emotional health, and that time is now. The universe is giving you permission to do what you've probably felt you needed to do for a long time, to step away, to protect yourself, to create healthy distance, and not just giving you permission, but actively creating the circumstances for this to happen in the most natural and least traumatic way possible. All you need to do is allow it. Don't resist the process. Don't try to force connections that the universe is breaking. Don't blame yourself for the separation that is being orchestrated on levels far beyond your conscious control. Trust that there is a higher wisdom at work here, an intelligence that sees the complete picture of your life and knows exactly what needs to be removed so that you can access the next level of your evolution. And this woman who envies you is part of what needs to be left behind. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but simply with the clear understanding that different paths need to be followed. When everything is complete, when the removal is finalized, you will look back and realize it was one of the greatest gifts the universe could give you. You will understand that continuing in that toxic dynamic would keep you small, limited, constantly on the defensive, and that freeing yourself from it was what allowed you to finally expand to the greatness that was always rightfully yours. Life on the other side of this separation is lighter than you can imagine right now. It's more peaceful, more joyful, more full of genuine possibilities, because when you're no longer spending energy dealing with envy and family toxicity, you have all that energy available to create the life you truly desire, to nurture the relationships that truly matter, to pursue the dreams that truly make your heart beat faster. Taurus, you are being set free. The universe is cutting the chains that bound you to a dynamic that never served you. And when you are completely free, you will realize that you always had wings. You just couldn't fly because you were stuck to the ground by someone who preferred to see you limited rather than do the work necessary to fly alongside you. Now you can fly, and you will. Share in the comments if you've identified this person in your family. Sometimes, simply naming the dynamic helps break the power it held over you, and your experiences can help other Taurus individuals recognize and free themselves from similar situations. Subscribe to the channel, because what comes after this removal is a period of rebuilding and expansion that you'll want to navigate wisely. You'll need guidance on how to set healthy boundaries, how to deal with family members who may not understand your choice, and how to make the most of the energy released when you're no longer trapped in this toxic dynamic. Turn on notifications to receive every message that can support you during this phase of liberation and rebirth. The universe is removing what was hurting you. It's clearing the path. It's preparing you for something much greater.